Oh, here we are. What time is it? It's closing into 5 p.m. I think in Siem Reap, and I'm sitting on the wooden bridge here, one of the two wooden bridges. See, one is here and the other one is over there behind me. It's a lovely place to chill and hang out. As you see, I have to wear my sunglasses a little bit. I can take them off if you want, but I can't really see what I'm doing because I'm squinting. Anyway, so can I find some shade somewhere? It might be over here. Right, let's go have a look. So, I'm on another walkabout for the day in dearest old Siem Reap, and I decided to make a follow-up video to my video from yesterday, where I spoke about comparing Siem Reap to Phnom Penh and which place is better to live as a foreigner or an expat, etc. I mean, from a tourist point of view, Siem Reap is definitely, well, very interesting because of the Angkor Wat temple complex and the other temples that are around there and so on. And yeah, that's the main attraction here, isn't it? The main reason people come to Siem Reap to see Angkor Wat, and that's pretty much it. As far as there's a nice museum here, there's a few other smaller things, but nothing really that's, well, the town. I mean, the town is lovely. It's a very nice little city, but it's also very small. So everybody, well, if you live here, everybody knows your business very, very quickly, and it turns out that the how should I say this? Many expats here, right, are not particularly nice. Most are fine, I guess, but I've come across some very unsavory types who just don't like me because they're jealous of my content and my looks, I guess. I have to say it bluntly because that's the way it is. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that the comparison I made yesterday between living in Siem Reap and Phnom Penh, I think, is not accurate, to be fair, because whereas Siem Reap has the beautiful temples and I'm struggling for words, this lovely old city vibe, with the old markets and the few shops and so on, it's very limited. It's just very limited. It's just not. It's not as exotic or as interesting as one may think it is, because that's the way it is. It's just not. I mean, there's a nightlife scene to it. I'm just trying to close my bag here because I'm moving on. People keep coming up and harassing me. Anyway, the nightlife scene. There's a big, I should say, big-ish nightlife scene, right? Because it's not that big, which is what I found out yesterday. Yeah, and you see, that's the kind of expat you get here. Many dropout types I've observed here in Siem Reap. So the riverside is very nice. I mean, they've done that up nicely. It's pretty. It's lovely to walk around and take in the nature part of things. Nature sounds and the trees and the river. Well, it's not, like I said, it's not really so much a river, because as you can see, it's not moving, right? There's nothing riverish about it. In fact, the water's going that way instead of that way. That's because there's a dam up there. Okay, so the river pretty much ends like 300 meters up there, the so-called river, which is actually more like, I think it is a man-made artificial long float pond. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think they created it for decoration, because it certainly doesn't go anywhere. When you come to the end of that main road over there, it ends with the dam, and then after that there is nothing. It's dry. So it doesn't go. I used to think that it goes all the way up to Tonle Sap Lake, but it doesn't. It does not. Maybe it used to, but it doesn't anymore. They're still doing a lot of building work over there, so maybe they're trying to improve that somehow and get that going. And I don't know, because as far as I remember, you used to be able to take, or you still can take, a ferry from here to Phnom Penh and from Phnom Penh to here, which I don't see how that's possible now, because from over there's no river, so you have to go all the way over to Tonle Sap, which is, I think, yeah, there's a ferry port there. Well, I remember that because we went out on me and my dearest best friend back then went out on a boat trip to the floating village and so on and so forth. That was about 2.5 years ago when I was last living here. Then you've got these old markets. So they've got the night, it's called the night market. But it's the same as over there. And it's exactly the same. You know, statues, jewelry, scarves, clothing, accessories, and that's about it. Very small. Now in Phnom Penh, on the other hand, you have at least, I don't know, 20, 30, much bigger markets. I mean, the central market in Phnom Penh is huge. So it's fantastic. I go there all the time to do my shopping and whatnot. Yeah, I shop for my sporting clothes, backpacks, shoes, socks, coconut oil, cooking equipment, you name it. You know, you can get everything there, and it's extremely cheap too, which is always helpful, right? The only problem about Phnom Penh is that it's rather expensive these days, which is a little bit unfortunate, because why? Now, the camera should be following me, but it's not. It's a little bit annoying. You get me? Anyway, I just won't move around too much, will I? So you see behind me the sunset. It's a lovely vibe, because you got this peaceful environment here, especially this time of the evening, you know, with the sun beginning to set and the temperature cooling down, people coming out, sitting along the riverside, having their dinners, which are all pretty unhealthy, unfortunately, if you know what I mean, because they eat a lot of rice and noodles, and they use seed oils for cooking. Everything is made in seed oils, which is terribly unhealthy. Causes cancer, by the way. Super inflammatory and causes cancer. So you must try your best to avoid all seed oils if you can, but unfortunately they cook with them everywhere. That's why I only get grilled meats, or usually cook for myself. So trying to cross the roads is difficult here, as it is in Phnom Penh. Now, so back to Phnom Penh. Now you've got, well, there's no beach here. You're very much in the middle of nowhere. You know, it's a good 8-hour drive to Pattaya and further to Bangkok, 12 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. So it's quite far, 6-7 hours to Phnom Penh. So that's a bit of a disadvantage. And the nearest nearby city is Battambang, which is, there's nothing there really. I mean, I was there 2 months ago, and I was surprised because people were saying it was lovely, and there's nothing to it. So this is it. You know, this is Siem Reap. You know, you've got the old market over there, which is a little bit bigger than the night market. You've got a bunch of restaurants up here. I mean, there are very lovely restaurants here, don't get me wrong. There are some very, very nice Western restaurants, French, Mexican, Greek, Turkish, German, Swiss, you name it, Italian. Everything is here. We've even got a Hard Rock Cafe here, which I don't understand, because it's always empty, because it's also very expensive. That is the problem. But yeah, I was talking about the prices in Phnom Penh. The prices in Phnom Penh have gone up dramatically in the last 2 to 3 years. I've been here now for around 3 years. So I've lived in Phnom Penh and Siem Reap multiple times. You know, popping back and forth. I was always getting bored in one place or the other, and trying to make up my mind where to go and live again. So that's the reason I left Phnom Penh again. I love the again word at the moment. It's one of my favorite words in the vocabulary. Because I was getting a bit too wound up, and I was too busy, and I was too worked up with all the work I was doing, and with the people around me pestering me, particularly in the neighborhood I was in, which is the riverside, right by the river there, by the La Croisette restaurant, which in my opinion is terrible. because it's massively overrated, very overpriced. I know several people who've had food poisoning who've told me about this before. I have to cross the road now because there's someone coming who I dislike. This is the problem, you see. You walk around town in Siem Reap and you run into people that know you or you know them. And in this case, it's a Ukrainian geezer who's super unfriendly. And he used to work in a coffee shop called The Seat, which he basically ran into the ground with his girlfriend, is now gone. And he did a runner. He ran away to Camp Pot with his girlfriend. Yeah, the owner told me this, so that's a fact. So yeah, Phnom Penh's got expensive. Unfortunately, the rent has become very expensive if you want to live in a decent area, and I do not recommend the riverside. I thought the riverside was great. You know, look at the beautiful light behind me now. Wow, that's cool. See that? Beautiful sunset coming up. The sun is still quite high, but look at the reflection on the water is fantastic. This is the ambience, the vibe is really great. So, yeah, BKK1 in Phnom Penh and the Pasak Lane area around there are the nicest places to live. But the apartment rents is very expensive. When you're talking a good $500-600 a month for a simple one-bedroom serviced apartment. And what I had in the riverside was not that. It was a old local place with no lock on the front door downstairs, with the restaurant staff coming and going whenever they wanted to, and anybody could walk into the building, go straight up to my door and bang on it, which apparently happened while I was out. And I am working. So it's funny. People here interrupt you when they see that you are talking and doing something, and they don't understand. Anyway, so yeah, so living in Phnom Penh, the apartment rental situation is difficult. It's become very expensive. You've got to put a month's deposit down. I make a decent amount of money, but not a fortune. So I like to keep things close to my chest and not spend too much, which is why I rented the place on the riverside. But that was shitty because it was dangerous. And I ended up getting threatened by the landlord there because he was claiming that people were constantly coming and going from my apartment and making noise, which was absolutely not true. It never happened. So anyway, food is also very expensive there. Well, if you go to the wrong shops, that is. The westernized ones like Smile and what's it called? Super Duper. They're very nice supermarkets, but they're very expensive. Very expensive. I mean, it's gone up like 30% since I first came here. You can find cheaper food in places like CP Fresh and Lee's food delivery service, and that's about it. That's all I eat: meat, eggs, fish, seafood, and very few vegetables. So I buy all the vegetables and the few things that I need from the local markets, which is very cheap. I buy 30 eggs for like $3. And that's the ABA Bank behind me, the biggest bank in Cambodia. Asia Bank of Asia or something like that it stands for. And it's owned by the National Bank of Canada Group. Anyway, so that's just a little rundown and a follow-up on my video from yesterday. I mean, Siem Reap is a lovely place to visit if you want to chill out and stay in a lovely hotel like this one over here, for example. What's it called? I forget. It's called... I forget now. Let me see. It's got a very nice pool up there on the rooftop. You can see the umbrellas on the top. And there are a few other beautiful hotels, like the Sofitel, like the Hyatt, like the, what's it called again? I forget the name now. Anyway. So yeah, it's a good place to stay for a few days and relax and enjoy the ambience. Walk around the river, go and see the temples, and then that's about it, really. That's all you can really do here. And go out and have dinner, but that gets very expensive because the restaurants here ain't cheap either. Okay, I mean, the rent is much cheaper here than in Phnom Penh. Not much, a bit. Oh, it's bright. But that's about it. So yes, I mean, this is it. I mean, I pretty much walked through the center. The one side of Siem Reap, which covers the center, that's it over there. Walk down there and there's nothing there, except, well, there's the King's Palace down there, but it's just you can't go in there, you can't see much. And that's it. That's about it. There's a few restaurants sprinkled along the riverside here, and a few hotels, which are all expensive because of the location. So that's it. So in summary, I have to say, I take back what I said yesterday. I think that living in Phnom Penh for an expat is a far better choice than living in Cambodia than living in Siem Reap, because they talk about the quieter pace of life here, which is true, but it's so quiet that it's almost non-existent, and that's a bit of a problem for me because I like to have a buzz. So the solution to the problem is basically to live in Phnom Penh and take every other weekend trips away. And I would say going south is better than going north because it's closer. It's 2.5 hours to Kampot and Kep and Sihanoukville. You can go to the ferries with a ferry over to the islands from there. Super beautiful sand, beautiful islands, just like Thailand. So yeah, that's it. So I am gonna head back to Phnom Penh tomorrow and see what happens, see what unfolds. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share and everything else you can do to help me make Cambodia great again. That's right. So I get more tourists here. See you later, alligator. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching Rob's Health Crunch. Don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel. There is more great content on the way from me about Cambodia, health, fitness, wellness, real healthy food, and great lifestyle habits. Don't forget to enable notifications so you'll know when the latest video is posted. Until then, here's some other great content I think you will enjoy.